jamais. Fais-moi donc de confidence, défie-toi des orages en mer. Endors-toi, enfuis-toi lentement. Je te suivrai dans ma mémoire, mais pas dans tes pas. Vers le nord, au bord du lac, de là au noir, il y a tes empreintes encore. Tu t'en dis avant, toi qui fais l'eau de mes nuits. À quoi rêves-tu d'envol ou de gravité? Dans la forêt, abrite-toi, reste sous le charme. La douceur combat l'amertume et confie-toi à moi. Je dors pourtant, je parcours le temps. Ce que je vois n'a rien d'un simple rêve. Mon corps s'alourdit et ton âme est si légère. Pour te trouver, j'ai besoin d'une éternité. Aucune pensée n'apprivoise plus mes nuits, ni aucun mot n'atteint encore la force du silence de la rivière au tonnerre, au désert des pierres levées. L'espace se balance et s'efface la distance. Tu t'en dis amant, que deviennent vrais tous nos rendez-vous promis. Dans la baie des vacances, j'oubliais me poser, rester là, et garder jusqu'au bout des doigts le moindre souvenir de toi. Je dors pourtant, je parcours le temps. Ce que je vois n'a rien d'un simple rêve. Mon corps s'alourdit et ton âme est si légère. Pour te trouver, j'ai besoin d'une éternité. Je te pourtant, je parcours le temps. Et ça s'appuie, tu t'approches de moi. À quand la nuit? Où tout sonnera pour nous retrouver, il n'y aura plus à chercher. Il n'y aura plus à chercher. il n'y aura plus à chercher. This is a song, first it was an instrumental called 4 a.m., which I recorded in my album Spices. And later on I felt it would be great to sing lyrics, and I asked my wife, Dorothea, to write lyrics. So we were wondering what the song could talk about. And one day of August, we were at home. We live in the countryside, in a little village close to Paris, and it's very, very dark at night. And we could observe this phenomenon of shooting stars happening every year. And so we stayed out until 3 or 4 a.m. And then the next morning, Dorothea wrote those lyrics called La Nuit des Météores, the night of the shooting stars. Even when it was an instrumental piece, it was in fact something I improvised in a recording studio. When I was doing my record Spices for CBS Masterworks, it was a record with my band, but I wanted to do 2-3 solo numbers, and it was the very, very end of the recording of the production. We had everything in the box, and the sound engineer Bruno said, "What about you doing just an instrumental?" You know, and it was like we had the studio in lockout for 1 month, and sometimes we would spend 2 or 3 days non-stop in the studio. The studio was in the basement. We would never see the daylight. So we had no idea what time it was. We would sleep when we were very tired. We would sleep on the sofa. And so that was that kind of mood. And then I think it was 4 a.m. when I did that recording. And so there was no inhibition, nothing forbidden. It was all completely open. And 4 a.m., this is a time when you can, you know, I was sort of imagining what could happen in the sky at that time of the, you know, had no idea of the time. So what's funny is that it was called 4 a.m. and then the song is about shooting stars. So it was a bit of continuity. Well, music drives me. It's always a complete mystery. You know, you create something which has a form, and then it's still very abstract. And once it's created, it's basically go away from you. It's free, and it looks at you and say, "Catch me if you can." And you try to catch it. You try to capture something, but it's not capturable. So you every time you try to, by different interpretation, by the way I hear the music, I have written that, I am playing that, but I didn't hear that. And you hear something all of a sudden that you had not exactly heard before. This is very, 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 it's like an unlimited well. So this is what drives me. I don't count the years, I don't count the hours, the days. When I'm on tour, you know, traveling is demanding for the body, but playing music is like what rejuvenates me every day, especially to share this music with people, because there is a responsibility there, a contract to fulfill, and the music needs that. It needs at some point to say, okay, now you and me, we are going into the vast world. Are you okay, Pierre? I am ready. Are you ready? I'm going to try to be ready. You know, it's always that thing which is, for me, the music is always in advance. And I'm just trying to serve it as much as I can. the way I encountered that brand was when I was touring in Northern Ireland, and someone who was a friend of George Lowden came to my show and asked me if I could, the next morning before I went back to Dublin, if I could visit his friend in his workshop, and I could not. I had to go back to Dublin first hour. And so I had no idea who George Lowden was. I had not seen his work. His friend asked me if I could give him a recommendation of a store in Paris. And I said, yeah, there is a fantastic guitar store in downtown Paris where you can go on my behalf. But usually I don't do that, because when I don't see the instrument, I try to not recommend, But there, for some reason, I felt it was okay. And I forgot that meeting, and months have passed by, and my friends in Paris gave me a phone call to tell me that there were those guitars from Northern Ireland that I had to come and check as soon as possible. And I thought, that might be the guy. I said, what's the name of the luthier? George Lowden. I said, okay. So I went to the store, and I saw those 6 Lowden guitars on the wall. And just the first visual impression I was very impressed, because it was very a sort of austerity beauty, something which is not shining, screaming at you, like, look how beautiful I am. You had to look carefully and see the inner beauty of those guitars, the satin polish, the way they were built, the association of woods, the colors and textures of the woods. All those were very appealing. So I took one and started to play, and the sound was, oh my God, wow. That's very, very beautiful, very different from what I was used to, which was primarily American guitars, Martin, Gibson. My first guitar was a Gorian by Michael Gorian in New Hampshire. So it was very, very different, completely different. It's hard to describe the tone and the sound, but that was something which I felt very, very attracted to. So I played the other ones, and they hold, all 6 guitars had a very beautiful story, each individually and very different from each other. So I called George Lowden, and I said, I play in a different tuning. My bass is in D. Do you think you could make a guitar and emulate that sort of tone, to make that tone, happen more? And he says, I'm not sure, but I can try, So he designed me a guitar, which was basically the ancestor of that guitar, which is the signature model based on the original Lowden guitars that George and I refer to as the old lady. So he made me a guitar in cedar, mahogany, which I played for 25 years exclusively, no other guitar. I had only one guitar, that guitar. And then I played on other Lowden guitars. I tried different woods. I have another signature guitar, which is Adirondack spruce and Guatemalan rosewood. But for my signature guitar, we went back to a jumbo size, and with exactly the same wood associations as my original old lady. And the thing also, which is that I used to play in the fold position with the guitar on my right leg and my arm like that. I started to develop a lot of pain in the neck and upper and lower back. So I changed my position to a classical guitar position, and now I can play a big model, a big size again, and it's no problem. Yeah. So, I met George when I was 19, 18. So we are like family now, I saw his children growing up. He's semi-retiring. Aaron, one of his sons, is taking over. It's amazing to have witnessed the company from the start until where they are now, and to be still a binôme with him, guitarist, guitar maker, from 2 hands to 2 other hands,